que tú eres una esta malagradecida, talking shit, and I'm like, don't fucking talk to me in front of my son.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 22. I am your host, Alanized, and this is Noche de Penejadas. Para todos ustedes que están mirando allá en casita, que se están preguntando qué chingados es esto, escuchen pendejas porque no me vuelvo a repetir. Noche de Penejadas is a weekly episodic show where I go ahead and bring your favorite influencers to discuss chisme and have a cocktail and see what the fuck they've been up to. So si tú quieres ver a tu persona favorita, hazme un pinche favor and drop their usernames down below. La semana pasada, you guys, les tuvimos a la Inspirational Africa y esta semana les tenemos a una invitada igual de chingona. Please help me welcome tonight's guest, Marilyn Odessa. Hello. Hasta que se nos hizo, you guys. I hit you up when? I think last week?
Last week, yes.
Or a principios de esta... No, last week, porque ya estamos a lunes.
Sí.
And I was like, girl, te quiero de invitada y aceptó y pues aquí la tenemos, you guys. Para todos ustedes allá en casita que no la conocen, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to her para que ella les diga un poquito más de quién es y qué hace.
Yo soy Marilyn Odessa, I'm a singer. Soy una cantante en el género regional mexicano. I love my Mexican music and I love to party and drink and chismear y todo.
Le hace de todo, you guys.
De todo le hacemos, but I'm very happy to be with you. Thank you for having me. Me habían mandado muchos mensajes anteriormente, people who follow you, that they're like, you need to go and you need to be on there with him, so I'm really happy.
Aquí estamos, you guys.
Thank
Aquí
you for
estamos
having me.
cumpliéndole a la gente. Para todos
Así
ustedes que se están preguntando, y pues Allen, ¿cómo la conoces? ¿Cómo la conocen? You know what's funny? Apenas te conocí en persona. Ya teníamos tiempo conociéndonos en las redes. Like just following each other. But I feel like it's súper diferente cuando sigues a alguien than cuando los conoces en persona. I invited you to my Halloween party. Y Maricela, you guys, I was a little shook that she was there because it caught me off guard when you pulled up on me. I remember I was outside taking a picture.
Yes.
Todavía me la recuerdo. She had a red outfit with like, what is it called? Not calavera. It's
The like Dia de los
clean,
Muertos.
like Dia de los Muertos. And I was like, oh shit, I was so shocked she was there because le mandé la invitación y dije, a lo mejor no va a venir, uno nunca sabe, y ahí estuve, and that's the day we got drunk.
Yes,
I was so
very
drunk.
much.
I took way too many shots. Did you get drunk that night?
You know what? It was a fun night. I don't remember getting home. No, just
She's like, I don't remember anything other than getting there.
I don't remember after, I think you fell on my lap, actually.
Is your lap okay? Like,
it's been a few months now.
She's like, I broke it after that.
No, it was a blast, and honestly, I never go to parties. I never go out. No, yo era de la que me invitaban a todas partes y yo nunca salía. I had the ball and chain, like hooked.
Yeah, she was like amarrada a la cama.
Literal, so yo no salía, pero fue mi primera así salida ya like renovada pues. And I had the most absolute great time. It was amazing. And I think I got there when you got there, Maricela, status. Because your party started like at 6 and you were there at 9.
You guys, I got there. Es que you know what? Mayoría de la gente que invité eran mexicanos, latinos, right? Yo le puse la start time con las 10 o 7 y yo dije, nah, no mames, yo no voy a llegar hasta en la noche porque no quiero llegar y que el pinche lugar esté vacío y que sea el primero que está llegando. You know, yo quiero llegar ya cuando haya gente, ya cuando el party me esté esperando a mí. Yo no quiero esperar el pinche party. So we got there at the same time, and then after that, you guys, I was everywhere. I remember like coming across you a couple times, taking shots. Y ya después de eso, ya no sé, you guys. And then a couple times me había invitado a su concierto que tuviste aquí en Anaheim. Yo no pude ir porque ya tenía otro compromiso, pero gracias a Dios mandé a Martita y a toda mi familia, you guys, para echarle porras. And my mom had so much fun. Ya que supieron un poquito de quién es, cómo nos conocimos y qué hace, you guys, vamos a ir a lo que ustedes vinieron, al pinche chisme. Ya estuvo bueno. La traje, you guys, no la traje aquí para que se quede aquí sonriente y bonita aquí hacia la cámara. La traje para sacarle el chisme, and that is what we're gonna motherfucking do. So let's go ahead without further ado and go to chisme and cocktails. Yeah. We have our little red cups. Cheers.
Salucita los ojos, por favor. Y no dijiste los ojos. It's bad luck, you know that, right?
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, so, you have to look at each other's eyes?
Cheers.
Oh, I've never...
7 años de...
Ay, no, pues ya tengo toda la vida de bad luck. Because every time I cheers, we never... Oh, bad sex. I'm like, nah, that's fake. I've been having good sex lately.
Well, just in case.
I'm like, just in case, though. Cheers. All right, you guys. So, vamos a platicar un poquito más de Marilyn. I want to know more about you, de tu niñez, de cómo empezaste, and everything you've gone through to get to where you are right now, not just in your career, but maybe in your personal life.
Okay. I'm like, okay. I've been through a lot. Siendo hija de Maricela, I've never had an issue with like, oh, I hate being my mother's daughter. Like, jamás. Al contrario, yo siempre lo he dicho, I'm very proud of being her daughter y soy muy orgullosa de llevar el nombre y el peso encima. It's just been really hard because of that, people expect certain things from me since I was little. I remember I went to a private elementary school where my mom went to school as well. We grew up in Lincoln Heights, okay, in East LA. So it was crazy porque even the sisters, they'd be like, oh, mija, tu mamá. Oh, mija, tu mamá. Or they would be nice to me because they wanted my mom to come. Yeah. And it was the same with all the little kids, like all these girls that were trying to be my friends, like fake friends. I've been dealing with fake friends my whole life.
Yeah. If it wasn't the friends, it was the mom of the friends, like, mija. Be nice to her.
And it's crazy because it makes things so hard to be able to trust. I'm a very loving person. I'm a very loyal person. So I've gone through a lot of phases in my life where I trust the wrong people. Yeah. En todos los aspectos de vida personal y también en mi carrera. Like I trust the wrong people. They lead me in the wrong direction. And then I get stuck in problems that I didn't even start to begin with, you know? So it's been very hard. It's been difficult trying to set myself apart from being la hija de Maricela and being able to let people know, like, yeah, I sing, me encanta cantar, pero yo canto porque realmente amo cantar. No es porque mi mamá es Maricela y yo también quiero ser famosa. Like, no, it's not like that. I love music. I genuinely enjoy it. It's very difficult. Es muy pesado, no te voy a mentir. People assume that I was born like en una cuna de oro, and it's not true. Yo crecí con mi abuelita que en paz descanse. She was my mother. She was my second mother. And she raised me, and she taught me to stand up for myself. Ella me enseñó a ser una persona muy de frente. Si tú me dices, Marilyn, tú fuiste y dijiste eso de tal persona, if I did it, I'm going to say yes, I did. But I did it because of this, this, and this.
Like, no vas a andar con rodeos.
Exacto. Si no lo hice, también me enseñó. Y si no lo hiciste, tú defiéndete, cabrona. Like, that was her thing,
you're not gonna let no one...
No, y si lo hiciste, lo hice. ¿Y qué? Por esta razón lo hice, you know? And my mom is very like that as well. My mom's a very tough and strong person. So a lot of times when I get involved in these chismes or fucking stuff going on and they go and they, oye, Maricela, que tu hija dijo esto. Bueno, ¿qué le hicieron? Algo le han de haber hecho para que ella reaccionara de esa manera. I've been very tough like my whole life because of that, because I grew up to be a strong girl, and I've gone through so many things in my short 31 years of life that right now I'm at the point of my life and my career where I'm just like in my own little cubicle and I'm like, don't talk to me. I don't want to know nothing. I don't want to be in anyone's chisme. I don't, you know, that's where I'm at right now. But it's been a long journey getting here and getting rid of all the toxicity.
Is something preventing you from achieving your goals? If it's your mental health, don't worry. Today's sponsor, BetterHelp, is here to help. BetterHelp is an online professional therapy website accessible to anyone who struggles with life challenges. It's available at any time and anywhere. BetterSess will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist. It's more affordable than traditional offline counseling, and financial aid is available. You can message your counselor anytime, and everything you share is confidential. I recommend BetterHelp to anyone who's looking to live a happier, stress-free life. I want you to start living a healthier life today. As a listener, you'll get 10% off your first month by visiting our sponsor at betterhelp.com/noche. Join over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health. Again, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/noche. Make sure you guys go ahead and take advantage of that 10% and enjoy living such a happier life. So, como acabas de decir, you know, for those of you guys que no captaron, you're the daughter of una cantante, you know, super talentosa, super successful Maricela. And then you just mentioned that you grew up with your grandmother. I'm assuming because your mom, you know, she was doing the superstar stuff.
Yeah.
You know, she was doing everything to provide. How was it like growing up, not having your mom around? Were you ever like, no celosa del público, pero celosa de que el público la tenía un poquito más que tú tenías a tu propia madre?
Es que la verdad, realmente yo no captaba que mi mamá era Maricela. Like, yeah, I knew que mi mamá cantaba because obviously I would see pictures and my grandma had things, you know.
Yeah.
Pero realmente, te lo juro, que yo no captaba like, oh.
The level of stardom.
Yes, like, oh, people love my mom, you know? Like, para mí, pues siempre era mi mamá. And to me, I wasn't with her because she was working, and period. Like, there was nothing else to it. I guess since I was with my grandma's from such a young age that it just became like a natural thing to me to live with my grandma, and that's what it is. You know? Nunca fui así como que, oye, ¿por qué no me puedo ir con mi mamá? I do remember at some point that I would go to my mom's for 2-3 days and then I didn't want to go back home because obviously my mom was like, let's go shopping, let's go here,
like,
let's
all
go
the
there,
fun
you know?
stuff.
Yeah. And so I would be like, no, I don't want to go home.
You're like, no, grandma's just gonna give me frijoles con arroz en la cara.
Literal, o sea, eran frijoles y un pedazo de carne y una lechuga. Y si no te lo comes, vas a ver, cabrona.
Y te sirvo y todo lo que te sirvo te lo vas a tragar.
Exactly. But, you know, it's tough because igual la gente asume, pues vivió una vida muy bonita. Like, no, yo toda mi vida, I'm sorry if it's going to break, you know, some of my family's heart, but this is the truth. Like, I lived in an apartment with my grandma an apartment or a home, because we were always like jumping around, where, you know, I grew up with my uncle. He was like my father figure, my youngest uncle. His name is Michael. He's a sheriff now. Where I shared a living room with her, or we would sleep on the sofa, or we would sleep on the floor. Like, no era algo like a big deal to me. You know, I grew up very humble like that. We used to ride the bus every day. I went to music school, Plaza de la Raza in Lincoln Heights. Every day, o sea, mi vida era levantarme a la escuela, regular school, come home, change, and get your ass on the bus because we got to go to music school now, and come home at 9-10 o'clock from music school to do the same thing again the next day. And people don't really know how much hard work was put into me becoming who I am now.
And I feel like that has a lot to do with, like, yo pienso, igual como mucha gente dice, you know, don't believe everything you see online with, like, influencers or everything. You know, yo pienso que mucha gente tiene la perception.
Exactly, that's
they
the
have
word.
the perception que, oh my God, su mamá es una superestrella, su mamá canta, su mamá es touring all the time, so they must think que han de vivir esta vida so lavish y que tus problemas nunca fueron nada, que todo, you know.
Yeah, que la vida fue fácil.
Fácil. And it's crazy because I also feel like that has maybe taught you so many important lessons of life. Like you said, it's kept you grounded, it's kept you humble, and it's kept you wanting more always. You know what I mean?
And it taught me to really, you know, work hard for what I want. You know, I see, cuando empecé mi carrera bien hace unos 6-7 años that I had, you know, big label and doing it in Mexico and everything, mucha gente me preguntaba, oye, Mari, ¿y por qué lo haces? Porque si ya eres hija de Maricela, no, like, yo lo hago porque yo quiero darles una vida a mis hijos que tal vez en su momento yo no lo tuve, right? But my mom was working her ass off to make sure that my grandma and I had a place to be, you know, had a place to live and take care of us. You know, my grandma, she gave me everything she possibly could, you know, but people don't know, like, the reality. Like, yeah, I rode the bus every day, you know, El Sereno, Lincoln Heights, that was my hometown. You can go back there and ask those people. I went to Sacred Heart of Jesus in Lincoln Heights. Like, we used to shop at the swap meet right there. Like, it was not a big deal to me because that's how I grew up. So now when I see people who, you know, come crying for things that are unnecessary. Even I tell my kids, my daughter, she's going to be 15. I had my daughter at a very young age, and she complains about stupidities. Like, yo le quiero un putazo because I'm thinking to myself,
I didn't have that shit.
Bitch, I didn't even have my own room. You need to calm the
like
fuck
you
down.
Had it. La tienes buena, amiga.
Yeah, literal. Y la gente no valora, you know? Yo aprendí a valorar mucho la vida que tuve. Fueron momentos bonitos. Sometimes I think, damn, man, I wish I could go back to those times and be sleeping on my grandma's sofa. I don't care.
Instead of having to work every day.
Instead of having to go through what I'm going through. But no, you know what? Thank you. Thank God. Thank my grandma that she was an angel to me now. That she taught me to be who I am. You know, a lot of what I am as a strong woman, obviously I get it from my mother and I love her. But my grandma also taught me to be very humble, very loving y ser una mujer. Si en su momento no lo he sido, tal vez, you know. He tenido momentos where I'm kind of like steering off towards the chisme way, and that's not the right way. And I'm kind of like got to snap myself back into it and be like, no, bitch,
Like,
you know, remember what you went through and remember who you are.
And you know what's crazy too? Yo pienso que antes de que se confundan ustedes las cosas, porque yo quiero aclarar esto, you know, Maricela, she's a big star. Pero yo pienso que también tiene que ver mucho con los tiempos. En ese tiempo donde, when your mom was doing everything, el mundo del espectáculo no era bien pagado. Y ahora yo pienso que ahora el artista ya le pone el precio el nombre y antes it was more like, you are going to get paid whatever, you know, the disqueras or whoever's controlling everything around you, you're just going to be the star.
Definitely. I think it's very hard as is in the music business. Like, obviously, back then, things weren't as expensive as they are now, first, you know, starting off there. And second of all, you're talking about, you know, a famous singer in the 80s.
Yes.
You know, my mom was, like, at the top of the top when I was born. And then I came in, like, knock, knock.
You're like, Mom, you gotta settle down a little. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and she did. She took a year off. I seen pictures and I'm thinking like, oh my God, my mom was that mom who would let me get my whole face full of cookies. And you know, but my mom was working hard, you know, tal vez en su momento. At one point where I'm growing up, I do remember having a moment where I would say like, fuck, where the fuck is my mom? You know, like all these bitches have their mom here. What about me? Now that I'm older, or at least once I had my daughter, I kind of realized, like, damn, this is a huge sacrifice to leave my kid and go work and go fucking hustle because it's very hard and it's very painful and it's very, like, people don't realize viajamos todos los días, todos los fines de semana. Yeah, we go to beautiful places, but in reality, we don't get to go out.
Yes.
We don't get to enjoy. Even now that I'm not as popular or as famous, you know, one day, God willing, I will be. Siendo hija de, like, it stops me from being able to go and be and enjoy the normal things other people would enjoy when you go to Mexico, when you go other places. It's just very, very hard. It's very hard. People don't really understand the sacrifice it takes to leave your kids. And durante el día todo el mundo, ay, que las fotos, this. You get to your room, honey, and you're alone. You know? You're alone and you're in your bed and you're thinking, what the fuck am I doing? You know? I've had a lot of moments where I've cried and I get back to my hotel y así como que, oye, te veo en la mañana. Okay, a las 3 de la mañana tienes que estar lista. Perfecto. Cierro la puerta and I'm like,
you're like, fuck.
By myself.
Isn't that crazy? You know? Que a veces, you know, it's so crazy because I can't even, you know, comprehend the life of like a star or like you guys, the life you guys live, even being on social media with the following. But it's crazy because there comes a point where like your life kind of just becomes like, what am I doing with my life? Like lo único que estoy haciendo es complaciendo a mi público, pero no me estoy complaciendo a mí mismo. Like you stop yourself from doing things you really want to do because you're like, tengo obligaciones, I have people to meet, I have people to make happy, and there just comes a point in your life where you're like, what do I really want? Do I want to make everyone else happy or yourself?
I think this lifestyle is definitely, you know, we're entertainers.
Yes.
You know, that's what we do. It comes naturally.
Yeah.
But it does come to a point where people, I feel like, como que a la gente todavía le cuesta como comprender, like, yeah, we go on stage and we'll sing our heart out, but you definitely don't know what's going on in here, you know? What's going on at home? What's going on detrás de las puertas cerradas, ¿verdad? Como dicen. Not too long ago, just like a week ago, I went to sing somewhere and I had an amazing time. And I'm going through a lot of emotional ups and downs. Yeah. And, you know, I have a few fans that wrote to me like, Marilyn, I saw you. I was parked behind you. I wanted to say hi. I wanted to take a picture, but you were hurting. And it made me realize, like, damn, how much do these people go through? How much do you people as singers go through and still get on stage and still sing? Then you're really hurting. And it's really hard. People no entienden. You know, a la gente se le hace fácil criticar. Que la gorda, que la esto, que la des, que la da. Ay, que mira. Like, you don't know. Yeah. People don't know. Detrás de todo, see, we put ourselves in the position to be criticized at all moments and at all times, but they don't really know what's going on. Yeah. You know, and at the end of the day, we're we're still una persona normal como los demás, except for the fact de que nosotros nos ponemos en la posición de que nos puedan criticar y nos puedan juzgar por lo que estamos haciendo.
Eso es lo que yo siempre he dicho. Yo dije, look, I feel like la gente mira a alguien on social media, on TV, y dicen, esta persona no es humano. It's crazy because they go through as much shit that you guys watching at home go through, and the only big difference is que nuestros calzones la mayoría de las veces están, they're airing
public.
out our
Yes,
shit. You know what I mean? And I always say, imagine the people watching ahorita. Imagínense la gente que está mirando este video. Imagínense todas sus dramas. Todo, que cuando le ponieron el cuerno, que cuando tú pusiste el cuerno, que whatever.
Que
whatever
cuando
the
te
case,
pusiste peda.
whatever it is. Imagínate todo eso being publicized and being shown to thousands of people for people to criticize. It takes a lot of balls to be in our position because I feel like not everyone is built. I feel like we weren't even built. You have to grow the skin for it because there was a point where I'm sure like all the hate comments that I get would get to me. Y ahora ya digo, ay, me vale verga, que sigan hablando que por eso tienen boca. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Y luego dice, mi abuelita decía, si el río suena es que algo you know, I don't remember. But,
you know, entre más habla la gente, you're doing something right. Si le está picando el culo o no, que hablen. Porque la gente al fin del día para eso tiene boca, para hablar.
Exacto.
And mientras que tú sepas who you are as a person, mientras que tú sepas all the reasons why you do certain things, that's all that matters. And I feel like that's super important. Uno como artista, como influencer, to really like have in our head, whatever people say about us is not really our problem. It's more theirs.
It's more theirs, exactly. I'm going through a point right now in my life where everyone's talking about me. Like, everyone has something to say. Everyone wants to get involved and have their opinion about what I'm doing, who I'm seeing, what I did or whatever, you know? And I kind of feel like, dude, yo no me meto en la vida de nadie. Like, si en algún momento dije un comentario aquí, ahí, okay, fine. And I accept it, you know, and I'll accept that I'm wrong, but I'll tell you to your face. I'm not going to go behind a phone or fake number and text and do, like, who has time to be messing with people's lives like that?
But
you
there's
know
a lot of
I mean?
people
Like,
that have time.
Yeah,
you know, hay mucha gente que no hace nada con su vida other than mirar and watch people's next video. And that's
criticize.
sad.
It's very sad and it's very hard because yo tal vez in the past year I've learned to be very like, okay, I'm going to put my mind in this mindset and I'm going to be successful no matter what it takes. And I'm going to work my ass off to make it happen. And los sacrificios que tenga que hacer, si tengo que empezar de cero, I'm going to do it. If I got to reach zero, I'm going to do it. Because I know where I want to go. I've been very like, okay, yo te deseo el bien a ti, aunque tú me deseas el mal, yo te deseo el bien because I want good to come back to me, you know? And I feel like people just get so consumed in trying to fuck with your life that it's like, dude, agarra la onda, like vive tu vida. I made a change in my life when I wasn't happy. And it took me a long time, a very long time to kind of like put my foot down and be like, I'm going to be 30 years old. I'm not happy. What the fuck am I doing here? You know?
Like, I gotta make a change because I don't want to live the rest of my life unhappy. ¿Qué hablar de tu carrera? Como habías mencionado earlier, estamos platicando and you mentioned that you're, you know, in the regional music genre. And yo pienso que en ese género hay muy pocas mujeres. Y muchas han dicho y muchas mujeres en ese género han hablado because it's so hard being a woman in such a male-dominated genre. ¿Cómo te sientes tú ser parte de ese género y siendo mujer?
Honestamente, mira, yo crecí cantando con mariachi, which is considered a regional Mexican genre, okay? Entonces, para mí, pues, no es algo fuera de lo normal. I choose to sing banda because that's what I like. You know, a mí me encanta subirme al escenario y sentir la fuerza de la banda. Like, there's no comparison to a mariachi and a banda. I love both. Both have their beautiful sounds and techniques, pero la fuerza de la banda pues es algo que a mí me gusta. It makes it very difficult because siento que entre la mujer en lo regional, even though a lot of women say like, ay, sí, hay que apoyarnos entre nosotras mismas, there is really no support entre las mujeres. If there were, I think we'd be in a different position as women in regional music because look at all these reggaeton singers, you know, Carol G, Becky G, Nati Natasha, like they all come together, they all sing together. Y en lo regional, it's like the one mean girl, and then it's like, no, I'm gonna choose who I want, and the mean girl's gonna choose whoever's convenient to her, whoever's gonna bow down. And desafortunadamente, it comes down to the point where there's a lot of us women who do sing regional mexicano, que nos encanta cantar, que sabemos cantarlo bien, and it becomes very hard because no hay apoyo entre las mujeres. Then it comes down to los hombres siendo machistas, like, ¿cómo que me va a abrir una mujer? No, que se vaya a la verga, que me abra este grupo. And it becomes even more difficult because it's hard to find the man. And I'm telling you, coming out of una disquera grande, dominada de la banda más popular y más famosa en México y Estados Unidos, de Banda MS, I was there.
Yeah.
You know, I lived it. And I have nothing but respect for the guys, for Sergio. He was an amazing producer. Like, I feel lucky and honored de haber trabajado con una persona como él. Para mí fue un honor, you know?
Yeah.
Y fue una escuela donde yo aprendí muchas cosas y dije, okay, this is what I want to take with me from what I've experienced, and this is what I want to let go.
Yeah.
You know? Es muy difícil ser mujer en el regional y encontrar ese apoyo de alguien que realmente diga, okay, yo la voy a meter y yo voy a hacer que ella cante, because only like that people are going to be able to hear you, learn about you, know what you're about, you know? It's very hard to find your own self in the regional Mexican industry por lo mismo, por tanto machismo, por tanto, you know, por tanto celo entre las propias mujeres, por tanto, you know, querer ser la única. No hay que pensar en ser la única. Like, shit, man. My mom is Maricela, and, you know, está Ana Bárbara, está Gloria Trevi, está Ana Gabriel. Like, everyone's in that same genre, and they all are amazing, talented, successful women. Why can't we do it in the regional Mexican genre?
Having to go through all this, ¿nunca te has decidido, damn, this is too hard? Que a veces hasta te has querido dar por vencida?
There's been times where I'm like, what the hell am I doing? Like, ¿por qué estoy perdiendo el tiempo? You know, pero realmente I'm like, fuck that. No le voy a dar el gusto a las viejas que me quieren ver abajo. I'm not. This is what I love to do. Tal vez me cueste un poquito de tiempo, pero siempre lo he dicho, pasos lentos pero firmes. You know, I know what I'm doing. I know what I have to offer as an artist and as a singer. And I'm gonna keep on hustling.
En tu carrera artística, ¿qué ha sido un consejo que tu madre te ha dado that you stand by to this day, that you're like, you know what, like, voy a llevarme ese consejo conmigo siempre because it's been the best consejo que he recibido de alguien que ha estado en el medio artístico como tu madre?
Mira, te voy a ser muy honesta, mi mamá en mi carrera no se mete mucho, ni se ha metido jamás, actually. My mom has been very, okay, you want to sing with banda? All right, go for it, do it. All right, you want to sign this contract? All right, go for it, do it. If it fails, don't come crying back to me. You know, she's taught me to be very strong, but she's also always been like, she's always taught me to be that strong person, you know, que no me deje. Desafortunadamente, volvemos a lo mismo, donde ser mujer puts you in a position where, you know, el hombre tal vez piense que, you know, this or that, o le ofrezco esto, pero que me das a cambio. And my mom's always been like, don't ever fall for that shit. It's no. Y que sepan que eres cabrona, y que sepan that you have people behind you that are going to back you up and that they're going to be there for you, and you're not new to this, you know? So when people do come try and tell me like, ay, pues es que yo estoy, like, hold on, ya llevo muchos años en esto, soy hija de Maricela, like, yo lo he visto toda mi vida, no me van a hacer pendeja con cualquier cosa, you know? So she's always taught me to be that, you know, tough woman. And, you know, there's been a few, you know, little things here and there where I will call my mom and be like, Mom, this is going on. What the fuck do I say?
Or ¿qué hago?
You know, what do I do? And she'll be like, okay, you gotta fucking be a bitch and toughen up, and there's no fucking contract, y punto, y no hay nada. You know?
And I feel like that's good. I feel like you said, you know, there's times where you do reach out to your mom por consejos, porque a veces uno se siente como, ¿para dónde voy? ¿Para acá? ¿Para allá? I feel like you must feel sometimes que te están jalando por acá y jalando por allá. So it's good to sometimes, you know, tener una personita que aunque se te diga, look, no es nada nuevo lo que te está pasando a ti. Shit in the music industry has been shit for years. It's good to have that revalidation of like, okay, no soy la única que le ha pasado esto y no soy la única que va a salir de esto.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Earlier mencionaste that you got pregnant at a really young age, at 15. Y tu hija ya también va a cumplir 15 años.
Yep.
¿Cómo te sientes tú que getting pregnant at such an early age has really shaped you who you are now?
Obviously, it's not the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Right? Because if I think about now my daughter getting pregnant or even having sex, I'll probably fucking beat the fuck out of her. Sorry. Excuse my language. But I'm very, like, I'm young enough to know where I'm going to fucking beat her ass up.
Yeah.
And where, donde me va a decir una pendejada, and I'm like, bitch.
Yeah.
I've been there. I know that. Don't play that game with me, you know? And she knows it very well. She knows not to mess with me because she knows. And her friends know, like, oh, no. You know, Samantha's mom is fucking, she's gonna beat your ass up. I guess at that point in my life, I was in I don't know what the hell I was thinking, to be honest with you. You know, I fell in love with the first person who I thought I was in love, you know, that changed. And then I got pregnant and valió madre, pues. No valió madre, because obviously I don't regret it at all, because it made me who I am now. You know?
Te dio a una personita muy especial en tu vida.
Exactly. It made me who I am now. I love my princey. I call her my princey. It made me learn responsibility at a really young age. You know, I was a baby having a baby. Yeah. You know, and even when I had her, I had a C-section, and I was literally a kid with my kid, and all the nurses were like being mean to me because why? Because this kid, like, she's fucking having a kid, this kid, you know? And I get it now, and I see where I'm like, dude, what was I thinking? You know, but I don't regret it because I learned so much. You know, Samantha, my daughter, she's gonna be 15. She changed my life. She changed my mom's life. She kind of like came and like sat everyone down and like wake up people, you know, because I do feel like my mom was also in a really weird place at that time. I was like back and forth, my grandma, my mom, you know, because I always lived with my grandma. I don't know, Samantha was born and she kind of like, everyone settled down. It was a blessing. It was a huge blessing in my life. You know, she changed it in every single aspect. Because I got pregnant at such a young age, you know, I was with the person who had got me pregnant. Obviously, he was my boyfriend. He was the love of my life at that moment. And I had been with him. He was my first boyfriend, my first todo, you know? Yeah. Todo lo que experimenté con él. Yeah. Entonces, like, we had a baby, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited.
Like, it
you know?
seems so perfect.
Yeah, it was perfect. And we had a beautiful marriage. You know, we ended up getting married when I was 18. We bought our first home. We had cars. We had everything. We had the life. Yeah. You know, and then we had another baby. Everything kind of started growing to the point where I'm becoming like, okay, I'm 22, I'm 23, I'm 24, 25, and I'm thinking, what am I doing? Like, this is not the way I want to be treated. Like, I see my daughter, you know, looking at the way he's treating me, thinking, damn, if somebody fucking treats my daughter the way he's treating me, le voy a partir su madre, because that's the truth, you know? That's when I started kind of like, okay, I started putting, you know, things into perspective, and yo quiero ser cantante, right? Soy una mamá. I was full hands-on with my daughter. 3 years old, she started school. I was there. I was a TA. I was, like, involved in everything, you know. Muchas veces hasta me metían en los chismes de las mamás. And I used to be like, dude, I'm 20 years old. I don't know what's going on con ustedes viejas. Like,
que no a mí no me metan de señoras.
A mí no me metan en sus problemas. You know, one lady even walked up to my car one time and I was like, mira, yo te voy a decir muy claramente, a mí no me metas en tus chismes, porque primero que nada yo ni sé qué pedo está pasando contigo. I'm a TA. I come and do my work for my daughter and I'm out, you know? It was at the point where I had to put things in a list, okay? Yo fui poniendo like, okay, mis hijos, yo, o no. And that time it was like my kids, my husband, and then me. Yeah. It was always me at the end. You know, my kids, my husband, my mom, and then me. Because at some point I'm also dealing with my mom's problems and taking care of my mom and making sure my mom's okay, making sure my kid's okay, making sure my husband's fine, making sure my home is fine. And ¿dónde quedo yo? You know? Yeah. So I started putting things into perspective where I put things in a list, and I got signed to a beautiful label, which was Lisos. And I'm traveling, and I turn around and like, yeah, he was the first person who supported me wanting to be a singer. Él me apoyó. Él invirtió like whatever money we had saved. Yeah. Like, I have no reason to deny it. Like, yeah, he was there for me a lot, you know? But when it came down to like, okay, this is the real deal now. I got to go. I got to travel. I got to do what I got to do. It was very like, well, what the fuck is this? And what the fuck is that? And like, I would come home to being told off, or I would come home to not even being able to walk in the door without having shit start already. It got to the point where, you know, at the first moment that they would come and be like, oye, Mari, ¿te vienes mañana? I'm out. you know, and I would come home because of my kids, but in reality, I didn't want to come home.
Yeah.
You know, I would leave and I would enjoy leaving. It kind of started like ringing in me like, dude, I enjoy being out of home instead of at home with my kids, when I'm being the mom I need to be to my kids, but at the same time I'm feeling bad because I'd rather be out of town than be home.
Yeah.
So what
But
is
for
going
other reasons.
on? Exactly,
Yes.
exactly. So entonces empecé pues a evolucionar into the woman, you know, the woman cabrona that my mom taught me to be, that my grandma taught me to be, and things started changing at home.
Pero yo pienso que siempre fuiste. Nomás que a veces uno en el transcurso de su vida, like, a veces se le olvida. And sometimes you really have to snap yourself and remind yourself who the fuck you really are. And remind yourself todo lo que te enseñaron uno de niño. And, you know, chingona siempre fuiste. Que se te olvidó por un poquito es otra cosa.
Dejé que se me cayera la corona por un ratito.
Pero luego, lo bueno que la levantó del piso, you guys, y se la puso otra vez, you know?
Yeah.
Y yo pienso que es algo muy, you know, like you said, oh, well, you haven't said it, pero obviamente mucha gente que te sigue sabe, te divorciaste. How hard was it for you to really be like, obviously, tenías tiempo ya, you know, analyzing your life, analyzing qué va a ser el próximo movimiento de tu vida, pero qué tan difícil fue decir, ¿sabes qué? I'm gonna do it. Because it's easier said than done.
Exactly.
Y yo pienso que mucha gente allá en casita puede relacionar con esto porque a veces uno quiere salirse out of a toxic relationship, or even, not even marriages, you guys, just simple relationships.
And sometimes,
yes, and sometimes it's hard. Y la gente dice, pues no lo hago porque ya estoy impuesto a esta persona. No lo hago porque ya tenemos una vida hecha o derecha.
O por tener miedo.
Yes. How hard was it for you to make that decision?
You know what? It got to a point where... mucha gente me dice ahorita ya at this point, like I'm in what, like a year and a half into being divorced and separated and all this, and a lot of people tell me like, ¿sabes qué, Marilyn? Es que pensándolo bien, tú viviste tu separación dentro de tu matrimonio.
Yeah.
You know, because the last 5 years of my marriage were like,
You already disconnected.
Oh,
you were logging out of the relationship.
I was gone. I was long gone, you know? Like, you know, I would come home to all this nagging. And yeah, I loved him. But how much can you love a person to take all this nagging all the time, you know, of like being one person in front of your friend and your family and then being another person when you're completely alone? Or, you know, how about going to dinner and not even exchanging a word, you know? But then you're going to bitch at me because I'm on my phone. Well, then who am I supposed to talk to if you're not talking to me, you know? So I started disconnecting along the way those 4 years to finally, like you said it, I fucking snapped and I thought in a moment, like, wait a minute, who the fuck are you to tell me, disculpen, like groserías, what to do or how to run my career? Like, yo soy quien soy. I made you who you are. You know, and maybe I didn't. And in the moment I said it that way because obviously I was upset and I was, you know, like, oh, hold on. It made me realize, like, por 4 años yo quería dar ese paso y no lo daba por miedo. But like, mis hijos, right? The bills, my home, my car. What am I going to do without him? Who's going to support me? Like, that was always my, ¿qué voy a hacer? You know, si lo dejo, ¿qué voy a hacer? Where I'm still working on establishing myself as a singer to be able to maintain my own. What am I going to do meanwhile? Like, am I going to be stuck in a relationship just because I'm waiting? Like, no. You know, me fui dando cuenta poco a poco. I started asking questions here and there. I started demanding things here and there. And he didn't like it either. Things started clashing all the time. And I wasn't being treated the way I wanted to be treated to begin with, you know? I'm okay with que un hombre sea controlador. Cool. Contrólame todo lo que tú quieras, papacito, pero trátame bien. You know? Si no me tratas bien, tú y tu pinche controlador se vayan a la verga. You know? I'm very like that. You know, ahorita, si tú me preguntas, like, I know what I'm worth as a woman, as a singer, as an artist, as a mother. I know what I have to offer, and I'm not going to let no motherfucker come in here and try to be like, no, I didn't let my own husband do it, you know?
The father of my kids do it. Mucho
so
menos
like,
un pinche pendejo que venga.
Exacto. Y en ese momento, I came home. I remember very clearly. I came home. I was out of town for like a week. Came home, had the release of my album, which was a huge deal. Because we released it during COVID. I had press at home, which was everything Zoom, which was so different, you know? And everyone's so happy because we had such an amazing accomplishment releasing this album que fue Homenaje a mi Madre, que es un disco con banda, you know, homenajeando a mi mamá en vida. You know, nobody does that. And he's over here cagando el palo like, oh, well, this person fucking congratulated you. You must be fucking him. And I'm like...
You're like, they're just happy for me, which is something you should be doing.
No, and in that time, like, we were label mates. Like, dude, come on, dude. Like, grow up. Yeah. You know, to me, it was like, grow up. I've been with you since I was 13 years old. Yeah. You know, you're the least person that should be
worried about,
you know, worried. Yeah. Aparte, él trabajaba con mi mamá. Él viajaba todo el tiempo. Yo sé lo que es viajar. Yo he visto a los hombres. You know, yo sé cómo se le avientan las mujeres con tal de una foto con el artista. Yeah. And I had no doubts in my mind. Yo dormía tranquila. Shit, he was in Vegas working, or he was in Mexico, or this. And I was... You
Tranquila,
know, so at 11, 12, I was knocked out. Si no me llamó, no me llamó. I was sleeping. Yeah. You know? And I was fine. I had no doubt in my mind. But al revés, it was never like that. Yeah. So I come home that one day. I still fucking made dinner because, aunque no lo crean, I cook, I clean, I do everything. Okay? Hice de cenar, we ate. I sat next to him to vent, and I told him a few things that were going on in my career. And he's like, oh, esto te pasa porque siempre te ven la cara de pendeja. And I was like,
oh, damn.
Excuse me. And I've never shared this exact thing with anybody. Okay, you're the first to know. I think when I did my People in Espanol article a few months ago, when we celebrated the 1 year, I said a little bit, but I didn't talk about it openly. He told me that he was like, esto te pasa porque siempre te ven la cara de pendeja. You have to do this and this and this and this. And I got up and I was like, excuse me, first of all, I'm not asking you or telling you so that you can make me feel worse. Yeah. You're my husband. You're supposed to support me and make me feel better. Mm-hmm. And second of all, I don't need you to tell me what to do with my career. I know what I'm doing, you know? Don't forget who taught you, you know? Like, you became successful, yes, but my mom taught you to be who you are. You know, sé agradecido, first of all. And third of all, don't fucking talk to me like that. And then he started talking shit to me, que me dijo que era una malagradecida and all these things. And I was like, you know what? I got up, took a few steps away, sat down on the floor with my son, who at the time is 4 or 5 years old, you know, 5. He continued, he stood up, he continued to scream at me, talking shit, and I was like, don't speak to me. I literally was like, don't speak to me in front of my son. Yeah. Que tú eres una talking shit, and I'm like, don't fucking talk to me in front of my son. Don't scream at me in front of I do not want to speak to you right now. And his response was, ¿por qué no agarras a tus hijos y te largas a vivir sola? And this time, we had been selling our house. Our house was on the market since October. We're in January. Mm-hmm. So in January, the home already sold. And we had about 2 or 3 weeks to move out. And I'm thinking, no problem. Like, I literally was like, ¿sabes qué? Perfecto. I picked up my son, who was already crying because his dad is screaming at me. I go upstairs, I close the door. Acosté a mi hijo, nos dormimos, whatever. We woke up the next morning, got my kids ready for school, took my kids to school. I texted my ex-husband and I said, you know what? Tienes mucha razón. Creo que es mejor que nos demos un tiempo. Oh, this is what you're choosing to do, me dice. This is what you want. And I'm like, no, this is what you chose.
And this is what you told me to do.
This is what you're telling me to do. So this is what it's going to be. You know, I gave him many opportunities. Yeah. I had left the house already once when my son was like maybe 1 or 2 years old. Yeah. Because he never trusted me. And I believe firmly, like, if there's no trust, there's no love. And I asked a lot of times, yo lo único que pedía como mujer era el cariño, el detalle. You know, bring me a fucking rose, man. Like, anything beautiful. My anniversary notes, they all say the same thing for the past 16 years.
Yeah, oh, damn.
Thank you for being with me, I love you. Thank you for being with me. I love you. Like, all of them.
Yeah. You're like, ya las sabrías porque ya sabía lo que iba a decir.
It was the same thing. And don't get me wrong. Yo lo amé. Y tal vez lo sigo amando, pero I'm always going to love him, but in a different way, you know? And at that point, I just was like, I'm done. He's like, this is the choice you're making. No, this is what you made. And this is what it's going to be.
That's so strong. And that's so, you know, what is that word? fuck. Me quedé sin palabras que hasta me quitaste la pinche la palabra de la boca. That is so inspiring porque yo pienso que en ese momento, yo pienso que cuando you're in that situation, a veces te voltean la tortilla para que piensen que tú eres la mala persona.
Yeah.
And I'm not just talking about her situation, but maybe in your guys' situation at home with your
For
boyfriend.
women in general.
Te mandan a la chingada ya cuando tú te quieres ir, te dicen, but why are you leaving us? Like, we have all these years together. And I'm like, no, pero no que querías que me fuera a la chingada ya que me quiero ir.
Yeah.
Me la estás volteando como si yo soy la mala persona. And it's so crazy that like even after that tú dijiste, ¿sabes qué? I feel it in my heart and my gut, and even though my heart loves him,
yes,
my gut and my head is telling me that I have to go not for him but for myself.
Yeah, por mucho tiempo yo ponía mucha gente enfrente de mí, y alguien ya más grande, obviamente, un amigo que fue muy buen amigo, nothing to do lovable, nothing like that, but él me aconsejó una vez porque obviamente yo viajaba mucho a Mazatlán, and Maza became my place of like, man, every time I go to Maza I have a blast. So I love to go to Maza. So even if he used to hate Mazatlán without even knowing why. Why do I love it? Why? Because voy and I don't have to worry about hearing my husband nag. I can wake up a la hora que se me dé la pinche gana. Me baño a la hora que se me antoje. Me como lo que se me antoje. Like I don't have to worry about anybody. I've been a mom since I was 15. I'm 25, 26, 27, 28, 29 years old, and I'm going to this place that is a fun place and I'm having the time of my life. Obviously, I'm going to love it, So,
and it's a little, como se dice, it's a disconnecting from reality.
Exacto.
Te servía para eso.
Y esta persona me decía, Marilyn, entiende esto. Si tú no eres feliz, los demás a tu alrededor no son felices. Primero eres tú, después eres tú, y al último eres tú, y al último son los demás. And I started taking that in, like, yes, that's true. I need to be happy for my kids to see me happy, and for them to be happy. Y mucha mujer no entiende eso. Like, we think, nosotros pensamos que como mujeres, we're doing the right choice by keeping our family together. Ay, no me quiero ir porque no quiero separar a mi familia, a mis hijos, pobres. Like, los hijos van a estar bien.
Yes.
My mom told me one day, Marilyn, one day Samantha's going to get married, Milan is going to get married, y tú eres la que te vas a quedar sola. They're going to move on with their lives, and what's going to happen to you?
Yes. Tú tienes que ponerte primero. Before your kids, before anyone else. Porque I'm a firm believer, you guys, that si tú no estás bien, ni tus hijos, ni nadie alrededor de ti van a estar bien. Y yo siempre, siempre me dicen, es que tú no eres madre, no sabes. You're not a woman. You don't know what it's like to like try to keep a family together. But I know, and this is TMI too, I know what traumas a mother trying to keep her family together can cause to a kid. You know what I mean? Like, for many years, my mom, as a kid, se quedó con mi papá por muchos años por eso. And I saw that firsthand. Y le hacen más daño a los niños que hacerles el favor.
Exacto. Porque los niños están viendo el sufrimiento, están viendo, like, man, yo pienso ahorita, y yo pienso mucho también, y les digo a varias, I have a lot of fans who reach out to me, like, Marilyn, this is my story, this is what I'm going through, how did you do it? There's no how to.
You just do it.
You just do it. You just make that choice in that moment. Y te agarra los putos huevos and you don't go back on your
aprietas,
word.
It really is that, because
it's
at
very
the end
hard.
of the day, yes, you want to, make sure your kids, have a good life, pero al fin del día, yo lo que pienso es que si te quedas ahí, tus hijos están presentes viendo todo eso, you're only teaching your kids, especially your daughters, that it's okay. A los varones, the dad they're seeing that as like, oh, it's okay to treat a woman like that, because that's how women should be treated. And for a woman, oh, pues mi mamá lo aguantó. It's okay to be treated like shit.
Tengo que aguantarme.
It's breaking the cycle, and it's so good that you broke the cycle. And yo sé que eso, in the long run, te lo van a agradecer tus hijos.
I hope so, man.
They will. All right, you guys. So, como pueden ver, ya, enough of the chisme, you guys. Like, it was intense. Era mucho chisme que les tuvimos al día de hoy, you guys. And we're going to go ahead and spice it up, porque ya de tanto chisme, como que también uno, I'm like, ay, Dios, like, luego la voy a tener aquí revelando hasta todos sus pinches secretos, y luego se va a ir a su casa y va a decir, Hablé de más. So mejor ya que pararla ahí, amigas. And we're gonna move on to the Wheel of Penejadas.
Oh, shit.
So, como pueden ver, you guys, Marilyn spun the wheel and she got Guess the Influencer. Pero le vamos a cambiar porque Marilyn, you know, tú estás más en el mundo de la celebridad, de la música. So, básicamente las reglas de este juego para todos los que son nuevos o para los que no, o para Marilyn, es producción nos va a enseñar una foto de un artista, a public figure.
Okay.
Y he's gonna crop it, nos las va a cropear y nosotros tenemos que adivinar quién es, viéndole nomás el ojo, la labio, la ceja, el pelo, la panocha, lo que sea. Imagínense nomás.
Ya perdí, ya valió.
There's 5 ones, so a ver que gane. Ready?
Oh, crap. Okay,
Ready?
let's do it.
1, 2, 3.
Ana Bárbara.
Was that a tie? I think that was a tie. Huh? Okay,
we said at the same time.
We both get a point.
Okay.
Ana Bárbara. 1, 2, 3.
Selena.
Oh, she won. Like, no, 2-1. Okay.
Maricela.
That was a tie.
Y eso que no traigo mis lentes. Estoy ciega.
And she's like, hey, that's a tie. So 3-2. Is this the last one? Yeah, this is the last one, no? Faltan 2 more?
Oh, no, that was 4.
All right, you guys. So esta, there's either a tiebreaker conmigo o se la lleva toda Marilyn. ¿Listos? A la 1, a las 2 y a las... ¿Para qué Elizabeth? ¡Oh! ¡Yo Valentina Elizabeth! ¡No mames!
I got it. You
¡Ganó! Alright, you guys, so ya que jugamos ese jueguito, we are approaching the end of today's episode. Pero antes de que nos vayamos, you guys, I'm gonna go ahead y se la voy a voltear a Marilyn para que ella nos diga what is next for Marilyn Odessa.
What's next? Pues mucha música, muchísima música. Everything you guys just heard is coming out in all my music.
Yeah.
Es muy chistoso porque estoy obviamente con una compañía diferente, se llaman Two Streams, they're in Chula Vista, so a cada rato I'm driving over there and I'm, doing new music, writing new music, and they're just like, Marilyn, yo no sé qué estás haciendo, yo no sé qué te está pasando, pero tú sigue escribiendo because everything that's coming is it's coming good. And thank God, I'm happy. I'm singing what I want to sing. Obviamente estoy todavía cantando con la banda. We just released a song called Está Cabrón that talks about, now you want me. You had me.
Yeah.
Está cabrón no despertar conmigo. Está cabrón, no sentir mis besos. Está cabrón sentir mi olvido.
A ver, cántanos un pedacito de esa nueva canción, porque even me just hearing like the talking version, I'm like, damn, está cabrón, está cabrón.
Está cabrón. When we wrote it, we wrote it with thinking about that, like, damn, es que todo está cabrón,
todo.
It goes, si fuera tú me sentiría igual. Verdad que está cabrón ya no despertar conmigo y me olvido. Verdad que está cabrón que ya no es lo mismo.
Uy, que sí está cabrón, está cabrón.
Está cabrón. And all the music coming out. En todo lo nuevo que viene van a poder escuchar un pedacito o algo que ha sucedido en mi vida. Que es literal, se los juro que todo. La que viene se llama Ni que yo hubiera perdido. Que te invito, que te vayas conmigo a Mazatlán. Antes, obviamente, yo corría a Mazatlán a llorar. Right?
Y ahora de alegría,
No, yo lloraba porque ya es hora de irnos a casa y yo, I don't wanna go home.
Yo pensaba porque te tenías que ir allá.
No, I used to be like, I don't wanna go home. Y lloraba, ¿verdad? Now we're coming back to Maza because we're gonna film the music video to our new song called Ni que yo hubiera perdido. Eres el primero en saber, ¿ok?
En exclusiva,
exclusiva. Y habla de eso, like, ya soy conocida en el bar que vaya. Y hasta me dijeron, ya se te extrañaba. Because I used to go cry,
Yeah.
Y ya volví, pero no para llorar por alguien. No va conmigo, yo solo quiero enfiestarme. Ni que yo hubiera perdido. Like, it's gonna be... We're coming back to Masa. I'm taking my whole entire friend group that I used to take with me to Masa to work. I'm like, you guys, we're going. Everyone's going, and... literal el video va a ser divertirnos.
Yeah.
And we're going back to masa, but we're gonna go have fun now. We're not crying for no motherfucker.
Que para eso
ya lloramos. Ahora es tiempo de divertirnos. And I'm having the most amazing time en esta nueva etapa de mi carrera, de mi vida, de como artista. I'm singing music that I love, that I feel. Vienen duetos con Fuerza de Tijuana, que pues mucha gente los conoce. Viene dueto con Banda Coloso, Banda Renovación, and we're just hustling, Vienen las fechas, we're starting work a partir de finales de julio, así que
estén pendientes.
Estén pendientes.
All right, you guys. So ya que escucharon todo eso that she has up her sleeve, don't forget to go ahead y síganla en todas sus redes sociales, which I'll leave down below, aquí etiquetada en el video and on the screen que están mirando ahorita. And también no se les olvide de seguirme a mí para que no se vayan a perder any future episodes. And antes de que nos vayan, you guys, I want to encourage you guys to go listen to Noche de Penejadas, the podcast, wherever you guys listen to your podcast, porque acuérdense, si ustedes están ansiosos cada vez que les digo quién va a ser el guest on the podcast version, it always launches one day earlier. So si no se pueden, aguantar las ansias, vayan and subscribe to the podcast. And with that being said, thank you so much for being here with us today. Thank you so much for opening up and for, sentándote aquí conmigo y teniendo una conversación so genuine. And, sometimes for a lot of people, so hard to have. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Espero que todos allá en casita disfrutaron de este episodio. And with that being said, you guys, los vemos para la próxima.
Gracias.
Bye.